So just now I mentioned about some certain things. I believe I was talking about Robotine. Yeah. So at this Orikhiv sector, the Russian forces currently is pushing in this direction, and they have been pushed out. Based on my own opinion, I don't think they are in Robotine anymore. The Ukrainian forces have basically pushed them out. Although I'm not sure if they were there to put troops within Robotine itself, but the Russians definitely is not inside anymore. And this prompted the Ukrainian Defense Ministry to say that the fighting is coming on the western part of Novoprokopivka, which is over here. So there is this heavy entrenchment around here. This heavy entrenchment is not taken by the Ukrainians just yet. There is no indication to show that the Ukrainians are there, which means that this is actually still under Russian control. But the Russians are not in Robotine, and the failure to double down on the Ukrainians desperation during those early days of the offensive or the mass offensive in this area here, bogged down by the remote mining, seems to really suck the entire momentum out of the Russians. So this is the current situation. But I also have to emphasize there's a possibility that the Russians could be doing this on purpose. That means that they actually make a heavy push, drawing Ukrainian reinforcement into this area here to really hold this line and do whatever desperate thing they need to do. But this is actually not the main push. The main push is probably still at Avdiivka, and this is just to create some chaos over on the planning and decision making side of the Ukrainians. That is also possible, although it does sound like a coup to the pro-Ukrainians, but I mean this is a possibility because again the inability to really push through and capture this area here is it would be rather disappointing to people who are expecting that the Russians are able to do much more. So that's what it is. It is what it is. And a similar situation also unfolds over at the Avdiivka front as well. The Russian forces was expected after the initial rumors of the capture of the 3 settlements. End up, they never actually went that far. As far as the evidence go, based on the information, like you can see, it was on the leap year, the leap day, 29th of February, that was declared that the settlements was captured. But as far as we can tell, the front line remains to be more or less where it was, as per what the Ukrainians have said it is. So this is, in fact, the Ukrainians don't even think that most of Tonenke is actually under Russian control. As you can see, the Ukrainian mapping is actually still claiming that the whole of Tonenke is under Ukrainian control, but this is of course invalidated because there is a Russian flag being raised on the northeastern part of Tonenke. So the situation continues to be difficult. Actually, it's not so smooth sailing. Whoever on the Russian side throwing this fake information out is definitely causing some problems for sure. So it could be a case where I have no idea why the fact that they thought that they captured Badaichi and then end up they sent troops without fire support towards Badaichi and then got wiped out 2 times, because there's once already happening on the 1st and then this happened on the 2nd. So the 2 videos, it could be on the same day as well. I just have to qualify because these are video being released, and as I always say, everything that you see on the internet is because someone wants you to see it. So this is the situation that is unfolding over at Badaichi. However, on the Russian side, the Rybus mapping continues to show that they have control over the entire Badaichi. So this is actually very very perplexing, because we still have no evidence that the Russians are inside, at least in the center of the western part of northern part of Badaichi. Similar situation over at Avdiivka as well. No Russian forces is spotted over on this northwestern part of Avdiivka based on any video footages. So we will continue to wait and see how these progress. But tentatively, I'm definitely leaning towards Deep State UA's version of events for now. But of course, Tonenke, of course, this is already invalidated. The Russians are pushing a little bit more. We will continue to see how these progress. And what else to talk about? Bakhmut front is interesting because Ivaniivka continues to be very underreported. But if you look at the information coming from Deep State UA, they say that if Bodanivka can be caught relatively stable, then Ivaniivka is extremely bad, and it may end in the loss of the village. So they say that the Russians are preparing reserve to close in on Chasivya, and also becoming more active in the northern part of Klishevka, which is over here. So the Russian forces are, in their opinion, is actively trying to push in this direction towards Chasivya, and they are going to lose Ivaniivka in the near future. So, which means that even in their assessment, which is similar to DPA's, this settlement is definitely unholdable by the Ukrainians right now. The situation is looking really, really bad as the Russians continue to push in across the entire front line within the village. And if you see the number of streets left and this industrial zone in the south, it's very unlikely that the Ukrainians can hold this, because the Russians have already captured this much over the past few days. So we will see how this progress. I think for the Ukrainians, it's probably safer to stay in the forest, but we shall see how this goes. Otherwise, what else? The Ukrainians is on a counter-offensive over at the Kupyansk front. They're putting pressure on Sinkivka and Terbaivka. So particularly at Terbaivka, I think the situation is quite bad. As the Ukrainian forces claim to have taken this much, they have taken basically half of Terbaivka, which means that to capture the rest, let me change the color. To capture the rest here isn't really that far away. I think we will see the re-liberation of the liberation of Terbaivka very, very soon. So the re-liberation of Terbaivka. So we will see how this progress. The Russian forces definitely would not want them to destroy their PR effort, but we shall see. And what else can we talk about? I think that's about it, I guess. And also crinky holes, like crinky really holes, like holes, like Ukrainians basically drop the word crinky, to basically double down on it. So anyway, that's it. This is the summary. These are the conclusions. Thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next update.